So, I posted this thread on Twitter. I went through the Donald.win and looked at some of their spicier takes on what happened yesterday. This was after they had already been escorted out of the Capitol. The insurrectionists, terrorists, whatever you want to call them. Either way, they had already been escorted out, and the vote had commenced once again of Congress to certify the Electoral College results. So they were real salty. So let's take a look at some of these takes that they had on the Donald.win, and then we might actually take a look at the Donald.win to see what they're saying today. I'm sick to my stomach. Me too. I'm going to do dramatic readings of these, by the way, so you're welcome. I'm sick to my stomach. Me too. I haven't been able to eat all day. Same here. It's only a matter of time before white people are executed by Black Lives Matter in the streets, and the media and the government cheer it on. So they're in a very reasonable headspace. Things are going extremely well from my view. Extremely well. This day is the day we have been waiting for. Today had to happen to get where we're going. These traitors were never going to willingly board the prison plane to Gitmo. I think Trump gave them every chance to do this peacefully, but it was never going to happen. They are all facing 20 plus years in prison, or a firing squad. It was always going to be like this, and Trump has planned this for years. He has the Insurrection Act. He has the executive order. He has the special ops and the military on his side. He has the truth on his side. He has us on his side. The eggs were finally broken. Now Trump can make us our omelet. 14 days he gets sworn in. Guaranteed. I will sleep soundly tonight. Dramatic. Some of you may disagree with me, but I still have hope, and lots of it. I know today was difficult, and I completely understand why some may not feel the same way I do, but when I think about who Trump is, and what he's fought through, Russian hoax, impeachment, etc., I realize that he's always come through in the end. This isn't over, not by a long shot. There's still plenty of time for things to happen. I don't know if there is some master plan or not, but at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going to happen until we're actually defeated. I will not be giving up hope. The true test of faith comes in the darkest of times. We have God in our corner, and Trump in the ring fighting for us. Stay strong, everybody. The best is yet to come. And then someone responds, okay, but don't be oblivious to the fact that you ain't getting your freedom back without blood. Lots of blood. Oh, God. Yeah, the Donald.win's just full of people calling to violence right now, in case you don't know. It's bad. Baked Alaska was COVID positive while in the Capitol. He was hanging out with Nick Fuentes, too. Idiots. Now what? Are we lost? Last option is to cross the Rubicon. They are in the building occupying the Capitol, but have lost momentum because nobody actually knows what to do. Where is Trump? That was when they were just kind of hanging out in the Capitol, not knowing what to do, because they're the dog who caught the car. They don't know what to do when they get it. Suspend Congress. Stop the Electoral College certification process. 2. Martial law and the Insurrection Act, which is hilarious considering they're the ones committing an insurrection. But, whatever. Fine details. Don't worry about it. Round up the traitors, confiscate the machines, audit the election votes, prove fraud in swing states. I like that they're admitting that they don't already have proof, so they need to seize voting machines in order to manufacture evidence. State legislatures vote in the contested states. Resume Congress. Count the true electoral votes as certified by state legislatures. Trump is sworn in on 120. That's some fun fan fiction. By the way, anyone who's like a fan of like alt history fiction, I'm gonna hope that there's gonna be someone who does an alt history thing where What if that time a bunch of MAGA insurrectionists stormed the Capitol actually led to something? And then we'll see dystopian fiction about Trump becoming dictator. I don't know. That might be fun to read in 15 or 20 years when we're far, far past this. He says, "We aren't lost. We've taken an L, but we've also opened the eyes of millions to how disgusting the cheating goes and corruption goes. There is now millions of Trumps. No one believes the media. Everyone knows the education system is indoctrination camps. The list goes on. We're woke. Whatever happens next is up to us." Seriously? They weren't aware of this before the Georgia election? They cheat openly and blatantly and have proven to all that they can take whatever they want. Why are you guys demoralized after today? Finally, people fought back. We always knew the road would be long and hard. This is just the first battle. Just for the record, you know, they're planning for more. So, be aware of that. Declare war, for F's sake. It's going there whether they like it or not. Gaslighting isn't taken seriously. They let the media get away with whatever they want along with the Democrats and rhinos. Good luck stopping the explosion of violence. They also spelled rhinos wrong. Rhinos stands for Republicans in name only. It's not supposed to have the H like the actual animal rhino. The nation state is dying all over the Western world. The nation state is dying all over the Western world. Isn't it ironic that China, a communist nation, understands the concept of race and teaches their youth all about Han Chinese genetics and identity and how they are the first and most advanced people on Earth in their education curriculum? Yet the UNO, big tech and Western leaders never opposed or called out China for such Nazi-esque indoctrination, but they would jump like hounds when whites try to organize a normal barbecue in their backyard. Typical centrist, just wants to grill. Just wants to grill and talk about ethno-nationalism? Yikes. So all these effers are willing to disenfranchise the votes of over 74 million Trump voters because a few hundred of them stormed the Capitol? Yep, they have a cushy job to uphold. 80 million plus. Let me see, what are the actual vote totals? U.S. election 2020 results. No, not 80 million plus. Donald Trump got 74 million votes. Biden got over 80 million votes. So they're just wrong on that one. And you're not being disenfranchised because the opposition won the election. That's how elections work. I don't care what happens anymore. I just don't. I'm out of F's to give regarding the old order. If it must be obliterated, then so be it. If they back down after today, they are signaling their own death warrant. I'm not saying this to encourage violence, but I think it is now very clear that people will take this much further. We aren't like BLM or Antifa. We will go straight after the corrupt politicians, and they should realize that. Correct! Have we all not crossed now as well? That guy had an interesting voice. Did anybody want to just hug him when he objected? They're talking about one of the senators who objected to the certification of the Electoral College votes. Did anybody want to just hug him when he objected today? Or is it just me? He looked so nervous but still stood strong. He's a patriot for sure. I cried with happiness. Then I read Pence's statement about 20 minutes later and was hysterical, crying in fear and sadness for our country. Still am off and on. Sorry, female peed here. Sad for my toddler. Don't apologize. We're in the exact same boat. Just staring at my kids, and I'm afraid for their future. I know there are millions of us, but I feel very alone tonight. Concerned about the future of my girls and my beautiful grandchildren. I was so hopeful. No more fear, patriots. So, these people have children. That's depressing. Someone help those kids, please. This is a good one. We don't know if Trump has been kidnapped. Dude is gone. Yes, I know. Many things to worry about at the moment. Seriously, where the F is Jodas? I worry about Barron. I think we all worry about Barron. Yeah, Twitch is shitting itself, I know. The show must go on, though. All he needed to say was, my fellow countrymen, our government is controlled by unelected fascists who do the bidding of the CCP. I have attempted to expose and remove them within the system, and that has failed. To any freedom-loving American who can hear us, I urge you to take up arms. Use force against those who usurp our freedoms. Tear down the media, big tech, which they use to subjugate the masses. Tear down the intelligence agencies they use to spy on you. If he called people to arms, things would come to an end. Instead, a few people tried to light the spark and Trump snuffed it out, and now he looks like a villain. History is written by the winner, and Trump willingly made himself the loser today. What comes next is going to be much harder and much bloodier than it would have been if he just took command. And he could at least have tried to get the military to step in and stop this communist takeover. Now he's just handing the communist the keys to the world's most powerful military after they just rigged our elections and started eliminating small businesses in the middle class. Next up is gun confiscations and mass executions, and Trump didn't do much to fight back after the election except string us along with unwarranted hope. Over the next 4 years, when none of this happens and we basically have business as usual, like neo-lib pro-corporate policies, are these people ever going to be like, oh, whoops, we were wrong? Well, they didn't do that after Obama, I guess. They also said Obama was going to do all these things, and that never happened over 8 years. So, they're just awful? They're just awful. I'm going to go with that. It's the same flaw that has plagued his presidency. He's a good-hearted man and too trustworthy. Think of the many advisors he hires. He trusted, who then betrayed him. Even Trump didn't understand how deep the swamp was and how evil they are. So Trump is incompetent and doesn't hire good people? Shock. He's right. If POTUS goes out like this, his legacy will be doomed. Beyond that, he'll probably also be arrested over some made-up BS. He better accept that there's no negotiating out of a deep state globalist cabal. He has to let the big guns out. Certainly, if it ends with that speech he gave today, wow, that was not his best speech, and definitely not the speech we needed today. He's given excellent speeches in the past during moments where he needed to. This time, he did not. If this is how it ends, it's a whimper. He might have been worrying about what evil communists would do to his family. It's not something any of us would imagine. Communists and betray by your vice president would make most pretty upset. They're so freaked out by communists, which is not something people in America have had to deal with for a long time. Like, no, there are no communist American politicians. What are you talking about? Oh, this one was just cringe. The revolution is bigger than Trump. This is not about one man. This is about America. This is about our children's future. He can be part of it or not. It doesn't matter. 1776 will commence again. And then it's a picture from The Patriot. This 100,000 times. If Trump is ready to lead a revolution, fantastic. If not, he needs to get the F out of the way. We only have one shot at this. If we lose, life isn't worth living anyways. Forced vaccines and re-education camps is a fate worse than death. Exactly. This is not and has never been about Trump. Correct, my friend, but never ever count Trump out. We will win. Yep, this is the first time I've seen this written in the Donald .win. Yep, F Trump. Tells us to show up. We do, then he ghosts us when things get crazy and doesn't take initiative to back us up. Where's the Big News Insurrection Act, EOs, declassification, servers from Germany? Get effed, basically. Time we rise up against these commie leftists without a loser. So again, I want to be clear. Oh, so bits are working but for some people? Great. Awesome. This isn't going to go away when Trump loses. Trump already lost. But what I'm saying is when Trump's no longer in office, these people are going to continue the fashy stuff without him. And I'm sure they'll be looking for some other figurehead. I don't know who it will be. There are a variety of people, I'm sure, who would love to be fashy Donald Trump again in 2024 or whenever. They're going to be looking for that person, and they'll probably find them at some point, and it's going to be horrifying. This person says, DC turns into Nazi Germany. Patriots are locked in their hotels being threatened by police. Someone pull the fire alarm. They can't keep you inside if there's a fire. You're being kept in your hotels because you broke into the Capitol building. This person says, I'm leaving the Republican Party and registering as independent until 100% non-cucked Patriot Constitution Party is established. I'll never vote Republican again. Never. The Libertarian and Constitutional Parties compromised. My life mission will be to ensure no rhino, C-U-N-T, ever gets elected again. And if they're using big tech to reach out, they lost my vote donation. Votes no longer mean anything. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Your tally will go to who they want. Or none at all. Again, they're stuck on... I think the election fraud narrative that Trump has been pushing is actually going to be damaging to Republican voter turnout for a little bit. At least probably in 2022. I don't know about 2024, but... a lot of these people legitimately think their votes are, like, being stolen. They're wrong, but they believe it. Patriots. Guys, Trump supporters, including Chuds in chat, no one calls you patriots except you losers. You're not patriots. You're a bunch of man babies freaking out because you lost an election. Grow the fuck up. Okay? Cool beans. No, you're not banned, Lavender Amberly. Twitch has been having issues. So if you're trying to, you know, do stuff. It looks like it's slowly getting fixed, though, because the viewer numbers are going back up. Until I hear from Trump again, I cannot relax. I want to know what the F is going on. I can't watch Congress anymore. All these 5-minute speeches fully planned, already written after that shit today. They had this planned. Something stinks. It all stinks. It's rigged. Where's Trump? I need to see him now. As I've told my family for a while, we had to give Trump every chance because the other option is war. So here's hoping we still have our leader. This person says DC cops have surrounded a hotel where Trump supporters are staying, fixing to arrest everyone. Maybe it's time to send in a second wave. So again, they're calling for more violence against the police. This is sad. This one just says, for one thing, it's possible this person is just lying, but, you know, there are people in the LGBT community who unfortunately have fallen for the Trump cult. Says, I, a gay man, put aside my fears and suffered years of abuse for voting for Pence in Pennsylvania in 2016. He is far worse than any gay bigot. He's a charlatan and just another fake politician. This person says, same, I had quite a few people quit talking to me. You're gay and you voted for him and Trump? And another comment, you voted against my rights, I can't be your friend. How do they write that and not understand that that's completely valid? If you vote against the rights of your fellow people, they're not going to want to deal with you. If you were in the Capitol building today without a mask on at all, please get out of town ASAP. Yes, yes, it's a government building and we paid for it. It's okay. Enough of that shit. Many crimes occurred today. Trespassing, being in restricted government buildings, assault and battery on law enforcement, looting and vandalism. If you have any of you on camera, don't think they will not snatch your ass up. Law enforcement is vindictive as hell. They're gonna want someone to suffer for this. Don't let it be you. At least this person recognizing the variety of crimes that took place. That's good. Sorry, Peds, but I'm feeling black pill. UK Pede here, sat under yet another bullshit lockdown. I wanted so hard to believe, but with the fall of the USA, things can only get worse and fast. Next few years, the entire West will speed towards utter technocracy. I can see no out. So sorry to seem so doomorous. If there is a light, please share it with me. More than ever, people need hope, and that actions will facilitate change. Thanks for reading. Love you all. So that's what I compiled last night. What's a pede? A pede is short for centipede. It comes from an old meme from the early days of the Donald on Reddit. It's not on Reddit anymore. It has its own domain here at thedonald.win. But back when it was still on Reddit, back in 2016, 2015, they called Trump a nimble navigator, because he basically everything bounced off him in terms of whatever. They called him a nimble navigator. And that somehow turned into, oh, like a centipede. And then they started calling each other centipedes, which became pede. It's a whole thing. Let's see what this post is. I hope some of you have finally learned. The left has no principles whatsoever. It's useless to try and resist their tyranny while trying to avoid their absurd accusations. No matter what you do, they'll accuse you of being what they are, a violent fascist or something. You guys broke into the Capitol building yesterday. If we demonstrate peacefully, they'll call it an armed insurrection while they burn cities, murder children, and claim it was mostly peaceful. Stop caring what leftists are going to say about you. They're communists who will promote whatever narrative they feel like without any regard to reality. So F optics, F civility. You're either on the side of the people, or you're on the side of the authoritarian tyrants ignoring the Constitution. The projection! It's IMAX level projection. Ridiculous. Jesus. Comparing themselves to the Boston Tea Party. Shopify deplatformed Trump's various stores. Good. What the communist F is going on with this world? They want to literally erase Trump. With 80 million living supporters, good luck with that. If anything, that would only make him a martyr for our cause and spark an all-out war. He has millions of supporters worldwide as well. They will not succeed. Canada says hi. It sucks we don't have anything remotely close to a Canadian Trump. Oh, God. That's a sad thought. Okay, is there anything else before we move on? I just wanted to get some of this stuff, because it's pretty crazy. How about Rising? Any Rising threads? It is both cringe and delusional, yeah. Oh, no.
Right to protest. We're supposed to be horrified.
Why is it doing that? Hold on.
Protesters. Right to protest. We're supposed to be horrified by the protesters. Meanwhile, 4 years of a coup launched in the Oval Office of Barack Obama.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, I hate Rush Limbaugh so much. I'm glad his show will not be on the air for long.
To overturn the election results of 2016 and not a single word of concern about the potential damage to our Constitution. No, they were just utter denials. We didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about. Trump's got to go. Trump's poison. So a lot of irony out there, and there's a lot of people calling for the end of violence. There's a lot of conservatives, social media, who say that any violence or aggression at all is unacceptable, regardless of the circumstances.
There's nothing funny about the
I'm
tools
glad
of
Sam
capitalism.
Adams, Thomas Paine, the actual Tea Party guys, the men at Lexington and Concord didn't feel that way.
Oh, great. Limbaugh is now calling for more violence. Isn't that illegal? Can you go on the radio and tell people do more violence? Pretty sure that's illegal. That's one of the forms of speech that is not protected by the First Amendment. This person says, I found out I'm getting kicked out of the army today. In the military, if you don't make promotion lists at certain junctures in your career, you're done. Whether or not you made said list depends on your boss's completely subjective assessment of your performance. Well, that's how all jobs work when you have a boss. My boss was a toxic diversity hire. Oh, here we go. My boss is a woman or not a white person, and therefore they shouldn't be in charge of me. My boss was a toxic diversity hire, and I know from the day he took command that it was going to be a rough time for the unit, so getting a pair of negative evals from him was kind of like having Paul Ryan tell you you're a failure. I thought I'd be more angry or sad or something, but the truth be told, I'm mostly just relieved. I didn't want to fight for this new president or this Congress, and I don't want to watch the organization I've devoted tens of thousands of hours of my life to slowly fall apart over the next decade, and now I won't have to. So I guess I'll just take my 4 deployments worth of combat experience, go home, play with the kids, and wait for something. What a loser. I'm glad he's out of the military. Jesus Christ. Okay, that's enough the Donald dot win. That's, it is what it is. I just wanted to show that to you guys to see how the MAGA peeps are coping. Hint, not well.